Sir, you can start, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sure, sure. Thank you. Good evening, my dear students. Last class, what we have discussed in our report. What is it by? Male reproductive system. The female reproductive systems. What are the parts present in it? And then, what are the hormones responsible for the female reproduction, otherwise called as female behaviors? That means sexual characteristics. That is also estrogen and progesterone. The shape of the ovary already we discussed. It is nothing but the almond shaped bodies. Okay, so that things also already we discussed. What are the accessory glands also present in it? Fallopian tubes, oviduct, otherwise called as oviduct. Fallopian tubes also further divided into infundibulum and ampulla and isthmus. That things also already we discussed here. Which one is called as fimbriae? What is the main functions of the fimbriae? It receives the ovary and easily adhere like as our fingers. Okay, so it can be transferred through the infundibulum, ampulla, and also isthmus. Finally, to enter into the uterine cavity, otherwise called as uterus. That things also already we discussed, isn't it? Okay, so this is the major structure, main structures. Already there are three. What is the see here? And fimbriae is a finger-like projections. And infundibulum is a first a funnel-shaped structures, ampulla and isthmus. Okay, these are the things. This is already in our body, isn't it? That things also already we discussed. And the uterus is otherwise called as womb, and fundus and corpus body is also present in it. Cervix is also one of the another part. Okay, and external genitalia. And what are the glands present in it? Lesser vestibular gland, and also another one is called as greater vestibular glands, also present in the female reproductive organs. Also has other names. It has other names also. And another one is called as mammary gland. Already we discussed what are the things is there, how it will be transferred the milk from the another mammary gland to alveoli to lactiferous duct. Finally, it reaches the lactiferous ducts. And the first milk is called as what is that? What will be the highest concentration? All those things already we discussed. Okay. And this is the structures already we discussed. Histology of ovary also will be site. Okay. So this is also another things. And internal structures and corpus luteum, and what are the hormones is responsible, and also what is meant by corpus albicans. That thing, so it's nothing but the fibrous tissues. Okay, that is also already we discussed. And gametogenesis already we discussed. Two things is there. One is called as spermatogenesis, other one is called as oogenesis. Spermatogenesis is nothing but the sperm production, and also oogenesis is nothing but egg production. Okay, that things also already discussed. First one is spermatogenesis, how it will be. Okay, it's a diploid nature, already know about. And also they produce from the mother cell is called a spermatogonia. Okay, that things also already discussed. It is nothing but the testicular cycles. Okay, all the living organisms, particularly male reproductive organs, they produce their sperms. Okay, what are the divisions occurs in this category? You know, mitotic division first takes place, and the diploid cells further divide into mitoid. During the mitotic division, it gives a primary spermatocyte, which is called as multiplication phase and growth phase, maturation phase. These are the three phases occurs during the spermatogenesis, but not in this oogenesis, isn't it? Okay. And then the primary spermatocytes undergo the meiosis process 1 in forming as a secondary spermatocytes, and the meiosis 2 also further undergoes the process, otherwise called a cell division. Finally, we will get it the spermatid, non-motile spermatid. Non-motile spermatid undergoes the well-developed spermiogenesis process as a result of formation of spermatozoa. Okay, that things also already we discuss. Okay, so what are the responsible hormones? Okay, that things also already discussed very deeply. Already see here. So this is spermatogonium, and ceratolytic is also is there, and primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, spermatid, and spermatozoa. What are the divisions occurs in between? Already we discussed in the previous slide, isn't it? Okay, so this is also another type of slides. Okay, see here. And then these things also already discussed. What are the things is present? Okay. Today, what we are going to discuss about the additional parts, remaining part of the reproduction, how the spams are produced. What is the main structure of spam? How it will be moved from the one place to another place? That things we are going to discuss and deeply. Yeah, spermatozoa is nothing but the sperm. Okay, sometimes they may call also spermatozoa and also called as sperm. The sperms are microscopic and motile cells sperm remaining alive and retain their ability to fertilize the ovum from 24 to 48 hours. Calculated is 2 days only after the ejaculation of the sperm from the male reproductive to female reproductive. It produces fertilize the ovum within 2 days, otherwise called as 48 hours. Sometimes they may ask the question in hours basis, and sometimes they may ask the questions in date basis. Okay, the typical mammalian sperm consists of the following parts. What is that? Main part is head and neck and middle piece, and also tail. These are the 4 parts is very, very important. See here one by one very deeply. The acute fertilizability during the passage through the epididymis. The 2 testes of young adult also produce how many sperms? 110 million per day. Okay, we cannot be able to calculate. This is the structure already we discussed. Okay, see the structure of the human sperm. This is the head part. There is a neck, followed by middle piece is also there, and containing the mitochondria, a spiral shaped mitochondria mostly present in it. They provide the energy in the form of high energy compounds, which is called as, which one you know, the ATP, adenosine triphosphate, already in our body, isn't it? And followed by there is a tail, is a long tail compared to the other 3 parts. The long tail. What is the main use of the tail? It can be moved from the one place. There is nothing but it is swim in the seminal fluid and finally until the reach of the egg. Okay, that is very, very important. This is also already we discussed. This is the main part. See here, what are the parts is here? A chromosome, already in our bird. There is a nucleus is there inside. There is a centriole is also very, very important. It's mostly present in the neck cells. Followed by, there is a mitochondria. It's a spirally arranged. Okay, a terminal disc is also present in the base of the, which one you know, middle piece. And then cell membrane, the outermost covering is also cell membrane, and also inner there is an axial filament is also present in it. The tail is also very long, and finally there is a small sharpened end is there. Okay, see that one. So here, see the first one is head, isn't it? The head is the enlarged end of the sperm containing a large nucleus present in the only in the head only, not in the tail, not in the middle piece, and also not else. It forms the acrosome. Note it down. This is very, very important. Acrosome is very, very important to fertilize the egg. It penetrates into the egg due to some activities. They secrete some of the components, particularly tell us the enzymes. That enzyme is what this? They ask the question. The acrosome is filled with the enzyme that help in the fertilization of ovum. These enzymes called as spam lysine. Note it down. This is called as lysine, spam lysines, that dissolve the membranes enveloping the ovum and help the sperm cell to enter the ovum. Okay, here you must note it down. Head containing a large nucleus. Not only that, the enzyme is also present in it. Which enzyme? The spam lysines. What is the main functions of the spam and lysine? That dissolve the membrane enveloping the ovum and help the sperm cell to enter the ovum. That is nothing but the help the sperm cell is nothing but the nucleus, because the DNA molecule present in it, the DNA molecules united with the ovum DNA, otherwise called as ovum cell or ovum. Okay, to enter the ovum. Okay, the acrosome is derived from the which part of the body? That is called as Golgi apparatus. Notice this is also take a hint. Please kindly make a hint. Okay, see, acrosome is derived from the Golgi apparatus. Okay, what is the main functions of Golgi apparatus in normal cell? You know very about. What is that? Anybody else? What is the main functions of Golgi apparatus? Ajay, Dhanalakshmi, Ritika. Anybody else, my dears?
Sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Ajay. Good.
Sir, I'm not sure, sir. Is it ribosome synthesis, sir?
No. Oh, yes, ribosome synthesis is possible other than the other activity.
Protein synthesis, sir.
No. Golgi apparatus, I'm asking. Golgi apparatus. You are telling about the endoplasmic reticulum, isn't it? Smooth or rough endoplasmic reticulum. Golgi apparatus mostly found in the lower part. There is a finger-like projection is also there, followed by there is a small round-like structure. It's mostly used for that is called as vesicles.
Sir, it gives rise to the endoplasmic reticulum, right, sir? Sir, it gives rise to the endoplasmic reticulum, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Exact mechanism I am asking. Exact. What is that? Main function of Golgi apparatus. Already you know about what about the transport mechanisms? The endoplasmic reticulums produced two types of components, isn't it? Rough endoplasmic reticulum produced protein, and smooth endoplasmic reticulums also produce which one, fat or lipid, isn't it? That things also store in where, Golgi apparatus, and also transport mechanism from the one place to another place. And also other activities also done by the Golgi apparatus. Just note it down, just go and refer the books, you will get the ideas. Okay. Anyhow, here the Golgi apparatus is also very, very important for the production of which one, acrosomes. Okay, good. Very good, Ajay. Try, keep it up. I like your attitude also. Good. Go ahead. So next one is called as neck. It is very short and it's present between the head and the middle piece, isn't it? It's a small portion. It contains the preaximal centrioles towards the nucleus, which play a role in the first cleavage of the zygote. Okay, this is very, very important things. Sometimes they may ask the question, first cleavage, which one of the sperm cells help for the divisions? Proximal centriole toward the nucleus, which plays a role in the first cleavage of the zygote, and the distal centriole, which gives rise to the axial filament of the sperm. There are two types of centriole present in the neck. Proximal centriole and distal centriole is also present in it. Proximal centrioles play a role in the first cleavage of the zygote, and distal centriole, which gives rise to the axial filament of the sperm. These are the two things. Okay, I'll go to the next one. And middle piece. Once again, I repeat for you. Sperm is a four-part: head, neck, middle piece, and tail. First part already we discussed. Second part is also already discussed. A middle piece is here. The middle piece of human sperm containing the mitochondria, otherwise called as powerhouse of the cell. How many? 25 to 39 arranged spirally. How many mitochondria are arranged in manner? Spiral manner. So 25 to 39. Sometimes they ask the question. Maximum 40. But you have to mention exactly, means 25 to 39. Arranged spiral manner. Spirally arranged, coil rounded the axial filament called mitochondrial spiral. I will show you. They provide energy for the movement of the sperm. The sperm, without energy, they cannot move from the liquid part of the female reproductive organs. So they need some energy. Then the energy is also supplemented by the component is called as which one, mitochondria. Okay, the mitochondria arranged, how? Mitochondria spirally arranged. That is very, very important. How many? Numbers 25 to 39. They provide the energy. Which form of energy? Mostly, but one of the energy currency is called as ATP, otherwise called as high energy compound. They produced by mitochondria. Then only the sperm move to the female reproductive organ. At the end of the middle piece, there is a ring centriole annulus with unknown function. These are the middle piece structures. See the structures? And the last is called as tail. The tail is a several times longer than the head. Note it down. This is very, very important. The tail is several times longer than that of the head. The part behind the main piece is called as end piece, which consists of the naked filament. We can see the filaments. Okay, naked filament, just like a hair-like structures. The sperm swim about by its tail in a fluid medium. Already told you, without tail, they cannot be able to move because it's just like a fish. There is tail fish and also fins is there, isn't it? The tail fins is also used for the what is the movement as well as the what is the rotation, tanning process. The tail is very, very used one in the case of which one, you know, fish. Just like that, the sperm swim about by its tail in a fluid medium. The sperm move by swimming at the rate of 1.5 to 3 millimeter per minute. 1.5 to 3 millimeter per minute to reach the site of fertilization. This fertilizer nothing but the egg with 30 minutes. Note it down. This is very, very important. That is very, very important. And one more is that a single egg. Note it down. So many times they were asked the question, how many times the egg is larger than that of sperm? The egg is 10 million times the volume of sperm cells. Note it down. This is also note it down. Please kindly note it these conditions. So what are the things is there? You note it down. Tail. Okay. Used for the which one? Which purpose? Moving purpose with the fluid mediums. How it will be moved per minute? 1.5 to 3 minutes. Millimeter per minute. Millimeter. Note it down. The unit is very, very important one. How it will be reached? How many minutes they will reach fertilization? That means egg. The 30 minutes. How much larger? Okay, the single egg is 10 million times the volume of sperm cells. This is also very, very important. See the structures. This is a nucleus. A large nucleus is there. Followed by there is a neck. Okay. The neck. What are the things is that two types of centriole present in it. Here there is a spirally arranged. What is that? Mitochondria. How much? How many numbers? Already discussed. The last there is a end plate is also there. Followed by there is a tail. And the last one is called as what is that? Naked one. These are the things that before the nucleus there is one of the what is a sharp end is that the sharp end is called as acrosome, the mostly used for the sperm lysine enzymes. Okay, it can penetrate the ovum. See that this is the egg. These are the sperms. Which one is reaches first? They can penetrate inside. Okay. And sometimes two, sometimes three, sometimes more than three. Okay, we'll see that one by one. Polyandrous, like that. What are the hormones responsible for the male reproductive systems? Here, the hormone control of the male reproductive system. What will happen? You know, suppose the gonadotrophic hormone, testosterone, or and other hormones, the male hormones, they secrete more. What will happen? Suppose they will secrete less. What will happen? Hypersensitive or hyposensitive, what will happen? Okay, we will see one by one. Hormonal control of the male reproductive system. The spermatogenesis start at the age of puberty. Puberty, already I told you, it may be our male and female, they are having the respective ages. 7th, when we are studying 7th to 9th, it's a age group, teenage. Due to the significant increases in the secretion of the gonadotropin releasing hormone. What do you know? This is very, very important. Puberty is also done by the one of the hormone is called as gonadotropin releasing hormone from hypothalamus. Okay, hypothalamus where it is a brain. Below the brain there is a thalamus. Thalamus below there is a one of the small portion is that is called as hypothalamus. The hypothalamus secrete gonadotropin releasing hormone. They are responsible for the puberty. Okay, and then industrial cells or lytic cells that lies between the seminiferal tubules secrete the testosterone, another hormones. The seminiferal tubules secrete the testosterone. Where it present? Lie between the industrial cell as well as the lytic cells. Sometimes they may ask the question. Seminiferal tubules present in between the, okay, they may have industrial cell or lytic cells. Okay. The seminiferal tubules secrete the hormone, male hormone, testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, like that. They may be confused. You have to tell the testosterone, which is essential for making sperm. Testosterone is very, very important for the making sperm, otherwise called as spermatogenesis, or called as, what is that? Which hormone? Male hormone. Testosterone is very, very essential. Okay, go to the next one. And industrial cell are the first turn the target of for a hormonal called industrial cell stimulating hormone, that is called as ICSH. Industrial cell stimulating hormone, simply denoted as ICSH. They is produced from the industrial cells. It is product of the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland, anterior lobe, posterior lobe, and also there are two lobes present in the pituitary glands. So this hormone secreted by which one? Pituitary gland, and also identical to the hypophyseal gonadotropin. This is similar to that of the hypophyseal gonadotropin. Once again, repeat for you: the intestinal cell produce the hormone is called as ICSH. This is a present where it in the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland. This hormone is identical to the hypophyseal gonadotropin. Hypophyseal gonadotropins. And not only that, and also another things also, luteinizing hormone, LH, and also follicle stimulation hormone is also present in it. So these are the hormones is also secreted by the male. Which one? Hormones. Some of them are having the positive result, some of them are negative result. That's why actually, suppose overproduction of the testosterone or gonadotropin hormones. Okay, which one is the antagonistic effect also given by the some of the hormones? Just like that, you imagine when the blood glucose level is increases, what will happen? Automatically, Langerhans pancreas, Langerhans secreted the corresponding hormone, alpha cell as well as a beta cell, isn't it? Beta cell, take an example of beta cells. Beta cells produce which one? Insulin. What is the main functions of insulin? The blood glucose level increases, automatically increases insulin secreted. So the insulin act upon the substrate glucose, the glucose converted into glycogen, isn't it? Suppose overproduction of the, what is that? Insulin secretion. Which hormone control the overproduction, hyperproduction? That means the glucagon is automatically secreted, isn't it? There is a simultaneous reactions also occurs within the body. Likewise, one of the hormone responsible for the production and some of the hormone they have inhibit the productions. That's why the hormone control of the male reproductive system, the gonadotropin releasing hormone is also there. And also another one is called as testosterone, and then industrial cell stimulating hormone is also there. And the pituitary glands also produce hypophyseal gonadotropins, luteinizing hormone, and follicle stimulating hormones. Okay, see that? Under the control of the FSH, once again, under the control of the FSH and the testosterone, these two hormones is responsible for the serotonic cell secrete an androgen binding protein that concentrates testosterone in the seminiferal tubules. So these are the two hormones responsible for which one? Androgen binding protein that concentrated by this secreting hormone. As a result, what happened now? Testosterone concentration will be very high in the seminiferal tubules. The testosterone responsible for the sperm production already we discussed, isn't it? It is a part of things. See here. Serotonin cells also secrete the another protein called inhibin. There are two types of protein secreted by the serotonin cell. One is called as androgen binding protein. Another one is also called as what is an inhibin, which suppress the FSH. Already told you. What is that? Suppose FSH, it will be produce more hyper activities. What will happen? Automatically serotonin cell produce the inhibin protein molecule. They suppress the production of FSH. As a result, the FSH production will be reduced. Okay, note it down. This is very, very important. Serotonin cell produce two types of proteins. Otherwise, called as two types of protein produced by the serotonin cell. What are they? They may ask the questions. So one is called as inhibin. Another one is called as what is that? androgen binding protein, ABB. Sometimes they are supposed to say mnemonics aspects. Okay, that is also very, very important. Then FSH act directly on the spermatogonia. After the production of FSH, they act directly on the spermatogonia, otherwise called a sperm producing mother cells, to stimulate the sperm's productions by the LH needed for the testosterone synthesis. Here, what are the FSH directly activated? Not only directly, the luteinizing hormone is also needed for the production of testosterone. Each one, it has an interrelation between FSH, LH, testosterone. These three hormones is essential for the production of which one, sperm. Okay, suppose if it is a overproduction, okay, what will happen? Automatically, the inhibin protein molecule secreted by the serotonic cell, it inhibits the FSH synthesis. Okay, normal FSH is also act upon the directly on spermatogonia, sperm producing mother cells, to stimulate the sperm productions. Already we discussed, which need, which one, LH also need for the testosterone synthesis. Testosterone synthesis directly what happened, the sperm production is also possible, isn't it? Here, these are the two hormones, luteinizing hormone and also stimulating hormone, follicle stimulating hormone. Likewise, okay, these are the hormone responsible for the production of sperm. Okay, then what will happen? The release of LH and or ICSH is in turn controlled by the release of the hypothalamus gonadotropin releasing hormone or GnRH. Here, what happened, after the production of LH and ICSH, they act upon the hypothalamus and also control what will be the production of gonadotropin releasing hormone, otherwise called GnRH. Okay, the level of testosterone is under negative feedback control. A rising level of testosterone suppress the releasing of GnRH from the hypothalamus. This is also a negative activity. Negative activity is also where it occurs in the hypothalamus. Particularly, the level of testosterone is under negative feedback. That means testosterone activity is controlled by the which one, rising of testosterone suppress the release of GnRH. When it rises, what happen, automatically it suppresses the GnRH. Where? In the hypothalamus. It is also negative. Suppose if it is rises, what will happen? First, which one we are studying? See that? The spermatogenesis start at the age of puberty due to the significant increase in the secretion of gonadotropin releasing hormone from the hypothalamus. This was what? Controlled by the activity of what are they? What are they? Estrogen, also negative feedback controlling, rising of the level of testosterone suppresses the release of GnRH. So this is also reversible activities. Okay, that's all I think, this lesson. Okay, the part 2 will be finished. We'll pass on to the next one, is called as part 3. Okay, do you have any doubt in this area, my dear students?
No, sir.
Okay, shall we pass on to the next one, part 3? Okay, good. See here. So we'll pass on the next one, is called as reproductive systems, part 3. Then what we are going to discuss? Any guess? See the first one, oogenesis. Last what we did? Male reproductive organ, female reproductive organ. Okay, what are the structures? What are the layers present in it, in or out? All those things we studied. Next one is spermatogenesis. Studied. What are the hormone responsible for the production of spermatogenesis? Now we'll pass on to the next one, is oogenesis. What is my oogenesis? Nothing but the mature female gamete production is called as formation, is called as oogenesis. That means the process of the formation of mature female gamete is called as oogenesis. Double O, that is denoted as egg. Okay, which is markedly different from the spermatogenesis because it's very different. Already we discussed the diagrammatical representation, isn't it? There are so many steps is there, similar to that of the spermatogenesis, but the oogenesis will be differ. Okay, see that what are the differences? Oogenesis initiated during the embryonic development stage when a couple of million gamete mother cells, oogonia is nothing but ovum or female gamete produced mother cells. Okay, that's spermatogonia. Here, oogonia. Spermatogonia, sperm producing mother cell. Oogonia, female gamete producing mother cell, otherwise called as what is a gamete mother cell. Are formed with each fetal ovary. No more oogonia are formed and added after birth. When it happens before birth only. After the delivery, there is no oogonia production takes place. Note it down. This is very, very important for the NEET point of view. After that birth, which one of the assessment reasoning, sometimes they may ask the question, otherwise called as true or false. Okay, that time sometimes they may ask the question like this. See here. These oogonial cells start division and enter into the prophase 1. Okay, the oogonia cells, the start divisions. Which division? First prophase 1 of the meiotic division and get temporarily arrested diplotin stage of the prophase 1. This is another part. This is the prophase 1, right? Okay, which stage? Sometimes they may ask the question. Diplotin stage of the prophase 1 at the stage called as primary oocytes. They may ask the question, primary oocytes. Okay, which stage they started? In oogonia cell or oogenesis, diplotin stage of prophase 1. What will happen? Each primary oocyte then gets surrounded by the layer granulosa cells and it is called primary follicles. Primary oocytes is the primary oocytes also surrounded by the layer of granular cell. That granular cell is called as primary follicle. Okay, a large number of these follicles degenerate during the phase from birth to puberty. Birth to puberty. This is very, very important. Okay, which cell is degenerated? Which cell? Follicle cells. Which follicle cell? Primary follicle cell, otherwise called as arteriatic follicles. Okay, which one is degenerated follicle? That follicle name is called as arteriatic follicle. Sometimes they may ask the question, which one you know? Technically, where they were used. Therefore, at puberty, only 60,000 to 80,000 primary follicles are, what is that? Or left in each ovary. This is very, very important. How many cells are left in the ovary during puberty? 60,000 to 80,000 of cells. Which cells? Primary follicle when the puberty stage. Okay, so this is very, very important. Once again, I repeat for you. Oogonial cells start division with the phase is called as prophase 1. When it occurs, the diplotin stage. Which stage? Diplotin stage. That stage is already mentioned. That cell is called as primary oocytes. The primary oocytes are surrounded by the granular cell. The granular cell is called as primary follicles. It is also called as what is the arteriatic follicles. It can be degenerated during the birth to the puberty. How many cells are degenerated at the time of puberty? 60,000 to 80,000 cells maybe. What is a degenerated? Okay, so note it down this one. See that oogenesis. This is the steps. Okay, these are the steps. Okay, occurs in the oogenesis. Oogenesis also takes place in the oogonia, otherwise called as mother cells. Undergo the mitotic. Mitotic means, you know what about body cell divisions. There is no reduction divisions. They exactly transfer the molecules from parent to offspring, isn't it? It is also diploid in nature. That is called as primary oocyte. The primary oocytes also undergo the meiosis 1. Okay, that is called as prior to ovulation. This is the prior ovulations. During this time, the first polar body is also separated, and also the secondary oocytes formation also takes place. Yeah, these two are haploid in nature. After that, what happened, you know, the second meiosis also takes place after the completion of second meiosis. What is a meiosis? Already in our bird. Prophase, one, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. What are the things already, you know? In between, there are so many stages. These are all we cannot explain here. Already know about cell division, isn't it? You have to supplement here. You have to, what is that? Substitute here. Meiosis 1 completed. What is the meaning of meiosis 1? So what are the meiosis steps is there? Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, prophase 1, metaphase 1, telophase 1, like that you have to calculate. Finally, it will end with the diagonals, and also further it will enter into the second meiosis. After the second meiosis, you will get it the 4 or 2 diploid cells or haploid cell. Haploid cell only you will get it because it is the reduction division. Likewise, the diploid started and end with the haploid, which one, you know, after the completion of meiosis 2, the ovum production takes place. Okay, this is also a primary polar body, and secondary polar body is also formed simultaneously. Okay, this is the steps of oogenesis. Okay, see here. With the onset of the puberty, a primary follicle begins to mature with each ovarian cycles. This is also another steps. The follicular cells become a cuboidal divided by mitosis to form a stratified epithelium, the granulous layer also. Follicular cells, first we discussed, isn't it? The follicular cells become cuboidal divided by the mitosis to form a stratified epithelium and the granulous layers. So the primary follicles get surrounded by the more layer of granular cells and a new theca and are called secondary follicles. Primary follicles here and also form as a many layer, addition of many layers, surrounded by the many layers, form as a secondary follicles also. The secondary follicles, what had happened? Tertiary follicle. The tertiary follicle, which is filled with the fluid, is called as antrum. Note it down. This is very, very important. Primary follicle, secondary follicle. Okay. And also finally, the tertiary follicle is also formed. Okay. After that, what with the theca layer is organized into an inner theca, internal, and then outer theca is external. The theca is also divided into. What is my theca? Is nothing but the layer. Okay. Present inside, that is internal. Suppose if it is present outside, that is called as outer theca. Theca is nothing but the layer. Okay. Surrounded by the which cells? Follicles. That is very, very important. See here. So these are the phases. This is a oogenesis, ovarian cycle. They may be divided into 3/4 follicular phase, ovarian phase, and luteal phase. When you are going to study the menstrual cycles, these are the phases also comes. Okay. Generally they have given how it will be. Okay. The primary follicles and followed by the developing follicles. These are the internal structure. See that inside there are so many follicles. Layer is also there. Developing follicles, they form as a primary ovum to secondary ovum. Secondary ovum, when it undergoes a process, finally what will happen into the liberated rupture of the follicle? Finally, what happened? Liberated of ovum, the ovum enter into the so which part? Fimbrium and the infundus. Finally, there is the urethra. Sorry, the uterus. Okay. Okay. See here, the mature oocytes adhere to the wall of the follicle through a pedicel stalk. A cumulus hoopers formed by the granulosa cells and remain suspended in the liquor folliculae. This is also another. And theca interna is composed of the cell having characteristics of steroid secretion, rich in blood vessels, and theca external gradually merge with the ovarian stroma. So this is also the mature oocytes adhere to the wall of follicles through the pedicel stalk. Then only what happened, you know, it may be covered by the layer, the follicle layer. Okay, it will be completely covered. So it is also safety nature. Okay, cumulus corpus formed by a granulosa cells and remaining suspended in the liquor folliculae. The theca interna is composed of the cell having characteristics of the steroid secretions, rich in blood vessel, and theca external gradually merges with the ovarian stroma. That means ovarian stroma as well as which one, you know, the blood vessels and also theca are merged together with the help of the Which one you know? The cells. Which cells? There is theca interna. Okay. So go to the next one. See, at this stage, the primary oocytes within the tertiary follicle grown in the size and complete its first meiotic divisions. Already we discussed. After the mitotic division, what are the changes which occurs? You know, already you know about these are the changes which occurs. After that, what happened? You know, what happened? See here, these are the changes occurs. So stalk is also suspended Laker folliculi, and these are the two things: secretion of steroid hormone, theca external gradually merged with the ovarian stroma. These are the two measures also occurs. When it occurs, what happened? You know, the meiosis 1 is completed. Okay, it is an unequal divisions resulting in the formation of the large haploid secondary oocyte. After the first meiotic division, what happened? You know, further it also undergoes the division process as a result of formation of large haploid secondary oocytes and the tiny first polar body. Okay, already studied that things also. Where is the division takes place after the mitotic? There is a first meiotic division takes place. That time you also form a small polar body. And second division also possible. That is also secondary haploid, secondary oocytes also formation takes place. At the time, along with the secondary oocyte, there is a tiny first polar body also formed. Again, the secondary oocytes retaining bulk of the nutrient-rich cytoplasm of the primary oocytes. Okay, the tertiary follicles, secondary oocytes, but here tertiary follicles, further changes into the mature follicle or Graafian follicles. The secondary oocytes, here the secondary oocytes, again the secondary oocytes also comes. Here the tertiary follicle, before that one, which one you know? Secondary follicle is also there. Before that one, primary follicles also. There are three follicles there present in it. Here also the oocytes also formed. That is also primary oocytes and also secondary oocytes also formation takes place. The secondary oocytes forms a new membrane called zone of pellucida. Note it down. This is one very, very important. The zone of pellucida is also formed from where you know the secondary oocytes. The secondary oocyte, where is it present? The tertiary follicle. Okay, the tertiary follicle formed from produce the Graafian follicle. The Graafian follicles, what happened? The secondary oocytes form a new membrane called the zona pellucida, composed of glycoprotein and also synthesis by oocyte surrounding it. Okay, the egg is surrounded, the oocyte is surrounded by the which one is the glycoprotein component. The glycoprotein component is called a zona pellucida. The zona pellucida formation takes place from secondary oocytes. These structures are mostly present in which one you know? Tertiary follicle. It is covered by the tertiary follicle. Okay, so this is the part. Later, the granular cells lying in the close vicinity of the ovum and zona pellucida become elongated to form the corona radiata. Zona pellucida and corona radiata. In the presence of luteinizing hormone, the Graafian follicle now rupture to release the secondary oocyte developing ovum. The secondary oocyte is also called as which one you know? Ovum. When it releases, that means the luteinizing hormone responsible for the rupturing of the Graafian follicle. Okay, and release the secondary oocyte. That condition is called as what is that? The process called as ovulations. The ovulation takes place by the hormone is called as luteinizing hormone. How it will be released? Which part is ruptured? The process takes place, physiological process takes place in the female reproductive organ, otherwise called as during the oogenesis, nothing but the Graafian follicle ruptures. Okay, this is very, very important. After the ovulation, the ruptured follicle left in the ovary is converted to the structure called corpus luteum. Note it down. This is also very, very important. After the ovulation, releasing of ovum, what happened? You know, the ruptured follicle left in the ovary is covered to the structure called as corpus luteum, which secrete mainly progesterone. Which hormones? The female reproductive hormone. Okay, this is very, very important. The releasing one, LH hormone, is essential. After that, corpus luteum formation takes place or covered by the cell is called as which one you know? Corpus luteum. The corpus luteum secrete the progesterone. Testosterone secreted by which compound, which cell? But corpus luteum secreted which hormone? Okay, see here. This is the exact of male reproductive hormone already we discussed. The hypothalamus is there. I have to shift the slide into that places only, but I choose here. Hypothalamus, already know, brain, the lower part, there is a thalamus is there. And for below there is a, which one you know? Hypothalamus. Hypothalamus secrete gonadotropin releasing hormone, where it acts upon the anterior pituitary hormone. The anterior pituitary hormone secretes the LH hormone as well as the FSH hormones. The LH hormone activated on Leydig cells and produce the testosterone. And FSH activity on the serotolic cell, they produce stimulates the spermatogenesis. Okay. Okay. So the serotonin cells, the FSH, when it enter into the, which one you know, the feedback effect, when it react on the overproduction of GN, already we discussed GN or that time what happened automatically, the serotolic cell, the FSH production takes place. It will be inhibit the control the these hormones. Which one though? GN or H. This is the one way, one pathway. Okay, another pathway, the Leydig cell already in our liver, it is produce the testosterone. The testosterone also enter into the reproductive tract and also other organs. Okay, it is also sometimes what happen now, inhibit process, inhibit the production of the LH as well as the GN organs. These two also having the feedback, otherwise called as antagonistic effect. Antagonistic means when it the hyperactivity is production takes place, that time what happen automatically it will inhibit. Okay, here the stimulation is also possible and inhibition also possible. When it back action is also, back reaction is also that is also inhibition reaction. When is the forward reaction is called as what is that? Stimulating action is also that. Likewise, the female reproduction is also, female hormones is also responsible. What are the things we will discuss? Okay, see here. So what are the difference between the spermatogenesis and oogenesis? See here, the characters, note it down. There are, I think, how many characters also there? 10 have been reported here. Okay, site of occurrence, where it occurs, total period, how many times it will take, growth phase, how many growth phases, how the durations, yolk synthesis, nuclear changes, okay, and then number of gametes, how many gametes also produce, polar bodies, site of completion, size of gametes, karyogenesis or and cytogenesis. What is meant by karyogenesis and cytogenesis? Already you know, karyogenesis is nothing but the fusion of nucleus. Cytogenesis is nothing but the new what is the fusion of cells. Okay, see here. The first one is a site of occurrence. Spermatogenesis occurs in the seminiferal tubule. Note it down. This is very, very important. Oogenesis in the ovaries. Total period already we discussed. How many days? 3 days. It is a continuous process and complete in 74 days in humans. 74. Which one is spermatogenesis? After the 74 days only, the mature sperm is produced. It is a discontinuous process and a complete in a few days to years. Oogenesis. Growth phase of shorter durations, of longer duration. Note it down. This is also very, very important. Yolk synthesis. No yolk is synthesized in the growth phase, but here vitellogenesis occurs in the growth phase. Nuclear changes. Nucleus become a condensed by the which one you know? Here, I can visible here. Okay, but in this category, nucleus is bloated due to the increasing in the nucleoplasms. Okay, so these are the points you have to remind here. Which one is that? 74 days here, year sometimes. Where it takes place, seminiferal tubes and also ovaries. Okay, and also yolk compared to the yolk synthesis. Where it present only in the oogenesis. Egg only yolk is, isn't it? There is no sperm, yolk is not there. Nucleus became a condensed, but here nucleus is blotted due to the increasing in the nucleoplasm also. Okay, go to the next one. Number of gametes already you know, but how many spermatoid sperm production takes place? 4 haploid sperms. There only one is there. Already discussed it. Polar body is not formed here. Here 2 or 3 polar bodies also formed. Already we discussed it. 2 polar bodies. It's a tiny polar body. Another one is called as previous one. Site of completion, where it completed, it is started and completed within the testes only. But here it is started inside the ovary, but it's generally completed outside the ovary. Size of the gamete, sperm is much smaller than spermatogonium formed. Ovum is much larger than oogonium. Okay, this is very, very important. Sometimes they ask the question in this part only. Size of the gametes. Karyogenesis and cytogenesis. Equal karyogenesis and cytogenesis takes place. But in this category, unequal cytogenesis and equal karyogenesis takes place. These are the very, very important points in this category. The 9th and 10th. These are the points. 6 to 8, 10 is known, very, very, very important one. Okay, so go to the next one. See that chromosome number in oogenesis. Oogenia already in our mother cells, isn't it? Egg producing mother cells. It's undergo the mitosis differentiation. What happened? Primary oocyte formation takes place. After that primary oocytes, what happened? You know, the first meiotic division completed prior to the ovulation. As a result, the formation of secondary oocytes. The secondary oocytes produce the ovum. During this stage, what happened? The first polar body as well as the second polar body is also formed. This stage is called as fetal stage. This one is called as adult reproductive life. Birth child puberty also takes place in this area only. Okay, collectively called as what is that? Oogenesis. Here, how it will be? Here, the 46 diploid in nature. The gametes is 23 haploid in nature. Already we discuss this portion, isn't it? These are very, very. Once again, repeat for you. Oogenia undergo the further mitotic division as a result of formation of primary oocytes. Primary oocytes also undergo the first meiotic divisions. You will get secondary oocytes. The secondary oocytes, it gives a ovum. Okay, not only that, and also the produce corresponding to the first polar body as well as the second polar body is also there. See that? This is the comparison between the two, the spermatogenesis as well as the oogenesis. Already we discussed it. Here, spermatogonia, here the oogonia. Mitotic division and mitotic division is also take place. Primary spermatocytes, the primary oocytes. Meiosis 1, meiosis 1 is also there. Secondary spermatocytes, here also secondary oocytes. Okay, meiosis 2 is completed. Here is also completion of meiotic soon. 4. What is a rounded spermatid production takes place? Here there is no round, directly the production of the ovum. After that, what happened? The spermiogenesis is possible. Here the ovum is possible. Here the 1 is there. Here is the 4 is cells also used. Then the next one, and this is the hormone control of the female reproductive. Okay, see here the hypothalamus is the both male as well as the female. Which one is the responsible for the sexual hormone production? No. Hypothalamus. Here the gonadotropin releasing hormone. Here also the gonadotropin releasing hormone is the anterior pituitary. Here the LH follicle stimulating hormone is also responsible for the production of ovary. It produces a hormone estrogen and progesterone. Note it down here is the female hormone secretion. When the secretion is over, what happens? Automatically it enter into the negative feedback. Again, it will inhibit the estrogen into the hypothalamus and positive feedback. This one is also increasing process also. This one is called negative as well as positive. Which hormone responds for the positive as well as the negative feedback of hypothalamus in female reproductive organ system or female control, female reproductive system, like that? They may ask the question, which one is estrogen? Progesterone only have the negative feedback only. Sometimes they may ask the question, which one of the hormone responsible for the negative feedback? Which one is the progesterone? Both mean estrogen. The progesterone also essential for the uterus. Okay, these are the hormone control of the female reproductive system. Okay, hormone control of the female reproductive systems. Ovary is regulated by the pituitary gonadotropin or GnRH. Already we discussed. Anterior pituitary already secreted the follicular stimulating hormone FSH, which control the transformation of the young primary follicle into graminal follicle, maturation of ovum, and the secretion of estrogen by its follicular cells. Okay, already we saw it in the previous slides, isn't it? The luteinizing hormone of anterior pituitary, here also the anterior pituitary, same, both are regulate the ovulation from the Graafian follicles, transformation of the empty Graafian follicle into LOA's conical corpus luteum, and the secretion of the progesterone hormone from the corpus luteum. The testosterone, here progesterone. Male hormone, here female hormone. Luteinizing hormone is also same, isn't it? See here, next one. Growth and function of secondary sex organ are regulated by the estrogen and progesterone. Here, female. That's why estrogen and progesterone. The testosterone and androgen. So, which one you know? Testosterone is very, very essential one. Estrogen controls the growth of maintenance and the functions of the secondary sex organ of the female. This is also very, very important. Secondary sex organ functions controlled by the, which one you know? The estrogen. This is also very, very important. Progesterone substance ovulation during the pregnancy promote the implantation of the fetus on the endometrium and developing of fetus in the uterus. This is very, very important one. Without fertilization, what happened? You know, there is no implantation of the what one egg on the endometrium, uterus wall. The progesterone is responsible for the implantation, promote the implantation. Sometimes this is the very, very important one. Progesterone. At the end of the pregnancy, the corpus albicans secrete the relaxin. Relaxin is very, very important for the pasteurization process. Pasteurization. That is nothing but the delivery. Already in our it is also used for the muscle relaxation during the birth. With the broadens of the pelvis for EC2 pasteurizations. That is also delivery time. Which one is responsible? Relaxin and progesterone. Progesterone, what happened though? Implantations of the fetus on the endometrium, otherwise called as uterine wall. Okay. During the time of what is that? Pregnancy, the corpus albicans secretes. Which one is the secreted relaxin hormone? Carbon albicans. Note it down. This is also very, very, very important. The relaxin hormone secreted by the carbon albicans. Okay. What will be the main activities? Maybe what is it? Broadens the pelvis for the EC pasteurization. Hip, already know what the bone is. Pelvis region, always the female is very, what is it? Big compared to the male. Due to the, which one you know? For the, what is the pasteurization process? Okay. Okay. And also we will pass on to the next one is ovary and reproduction. Just I give you an introduction. We will see the remaining on the next classes. Okay. So here there are two types of, here the spelling mistake is the two types of reproductive cycle is there. One is called as estrous cycle, another one is called menstrual cycles. What are the estrous cycles? Where it occurs? What is my menstrual cycle? Where it occurs? What are the hormone responsible for that one? We will discuss one by one. Today, what are the things we will discuss? You know very about the structure of sperm. Okay, how it will be divided, how it will be moved from the how it will be reached as the female reproductive organ, particularly it will reach as the egg. And next one is we will pass on to the next one is oogenesis, how it will produce the egg, what are the components, what are the parts essential for the production of egg. Okay, so the oogonia is very, very important. Okay, and then so what are the stages that is called as primary oocytes, how it will be produced, which stage is called as diplotin stage of the prophase 1. Okay, they're called the primary follicles, secondary follicle, primary oocytes, secondary oocytes, tertiary oocytes. Okay, like that it forms, isn't it? Therefore, puberty, how many primary follicle present in the ovary? It is 60,000 to 80,000 primary follicles also present in. Okay, so this is also a very, very important one. And then see that secondary follicles also, that secondary follicles also produces tertiary follicles. These are all filled with the fluid is called as atrum. Theca layer is also present, the interthecal and the external thecal is also present, and it is covered with the ovum. And finally, what happened, it merged with the ovarian stroma, otherwise called as ovarian wall. How it will be happen already, first meiotic division, so large haploids, secondary oocytes also produce. How many oocytes also present, only one oocytes also during this process. What happened, there is a polar body, it's also production takes place. Okay. The secondary oocytes very, very important, very, very important. Secondary oocytes form a new membrane called as zona pellucida, composed of glycoprotein and also synthesis by the oocytes surrounding it. After that, what happened here? This is very, very important. Purano radiata. The luteinizing hormone is also responsible for the production of ovulation. Note it down. Then only what happened after the ovulation process? What will happen? A rupture of the follicle. Which one is rupturing takes place? Follicle rupture takes place. Then only the ovum is released. After that, what will happen? The left in the ovary is converted to a structure called as corpus luteum, which secretes mainly the progesterone. Progesterone is very, very important for the, what is that? What are the main important? Already we discussed. Lost. This essential for the, which one? See that? Suspended ovulations, developing of the fetus in the uterus. Not only that, in the implantations, and also the relaxing secretions, okay, secreted by the corpus albicans. That things also very, very important. So my students, go through it properly. You will get the ideas: male reproductive organ, female reproductive organ, what are the hormone responsible, how it will be produced, which one act on the positive effect, which one is act up on the negative. That things also go through it, then only it will be better. If you have any doubt, please ask me. Do you have any question, my dear students?
No, sir.
Okay. So, okay. Remaining things we will on the next classes. Please kindly follow the book. Just read it. You will get the ideas. Okay. Bye. Take care. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.